This forest in front of me has an interesting story. Back in the 60s, more exactly in 1968, when the Russians invaded Czechoslovakia, my father was mayor in this region here, mayor, not major in the military, but he has some responsibilities with the patriotic army, with the civilian army or something like this. And when I was 10 or 12 years old, he took me here and showed me the remainings of the military activity in this forest. After 15 or 20 years, the signs were still visible. Now I don't know if we can find something, but back in those times when I was here, I can find some tank, howitzer locations, soldier individual dugouts, signs on the trees, and cables to different parts of platoons or army parts, and also the remainings of soldier meals, cans, etc. Now I don't know if we can find something, but for me it's a very strong memory, especially nowadays when we have a similar situation here very close to Romania in Ukraine, when people are mobilized, and exactly that happened back in time here in Romania, but fortunately just for a short period of time. And my father was part of this process of mobilization. So join me to try to find out some remainings of that military activity here in this forest. Maybe I should stop the bike here somewhere and try to figure out. Now with all these leaves, it is harder to discover those places, but I will try to show you something. Back in times when I was here with my father, we could discover some command posts here in the forest with phone cables, with signs to different parts of the mobilized army of civilians. And my father told me an interesting but also sad story, because it is very similar with what is happening now in Ukraine, in Russia, I don't know. The civilians from here, from these villages, were taken at night with trucks without telling them where are they heading, and the women's were very desperate, and my father could just ensure them that from the place where the men's will be taken, they will see their own yard, the homes and everything. From this forest, I don't know, it should be 2 kilometers or 3. 2 kilometers for the closest village, and then further 3 or 4 for the other villages from this area here. Yeah, it is an interesting story for me. It was dipped back in my memories, and now in this murky period I remember that. Okay, maybe it's not so obvious, but I think this is a place where the dugouts, the individual hiding places, are more obvious. You can see here some kind of, in the army it is deep. You can imagine how deep is it, because the layer of the leaves layer is quite thick, and here are a lot of dugouts among this road. Yeah, this is another one. I don't know if the GoPro can capture this, but for me it's pretty sure here was a place where a soldier was staying, I don't know, 15 years ago, here also. From here, a little bit above, it's quite obvious. Yeah, look, here is another dugout. I don't know. Yeah, you should imagine a little bit. Here is another one. Another one here. A few here. Behind this tree. I should go here in this small hills. I'm pretty sure in the middle of these small hills are also some observation points. Yeah, there is one in front. I'm looking to see some wires in the trees, but after 15 years it would be impossible to find. Yeah, when I was in the army as a conscript, I was exactly on communication department, or radio communication, and we also made some phone lines, and that was the hardest job because we had to carry two
coils of wires among the other equipment to run. And at that time they told us those old phones with induction they are the safest. Even at that period there are also more modern radio stations, but that phone was the safest because doesn't need power, has a direct connection. Even if the enemy can clamp another phone to your network, let's say, but they pretended that it is a very safe way of communication. I think back in Russia now they are using still the same phones now in 2020. Man, I have to apologize again. It was not prepared at all to get here. I don't write anything. I just speak freely, and my English lacks some time, so please be understandable. Yeah, here is a high point. Please be forgiven. Yeah, exactly as I imagined. I don't know if the GoPro is showing, but here in the top of this small hill is a dugout, a larger one, where I'm very sure some heavy machine was positioned. Not a single soldier. The overview is good. I didn't answer to one important question: why this place here, very far from the Russians, but somehow close to the Hungarian border? Yeah, this could be an explanation. Why this place was so strategic for the army back in those times. Maybe this is the explanation. The Russians are passing over here close to get to Hungary, and the Romanians are thinking, because Ceausescu was, even if he was a communist dictator, was against the Russian regime. Yeah, this is a center point here in the forest. Let's see if we see something which catch our eyes here. But I don't think. This is why I must be careful, because this forest is full of large branches. These are the roads I told you about.